Off key as usual. We're going. Yeah.
We're back.
Pop music.
Look at me dance.
I know.
Please don't. You'll lose your appetite.
We'll bring it back, though.
Okay.
It's been a while since we've gotten the music in the ears. We've been on the road. Eat, talk, repeat.
Yeah, but we're still putting out content.
We are.
We're the content kings and queens of the Las Vegas food scene.
We really are, and we still don't get paid for it.
Yeah. We get paid in adulation.
We do, actually.
That's fine with
yeah,
me for the time being.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I love what we do because every episode, every interaction we have, I want everyone to remember we are not bought and paid for.
That's true. We are doing this out of love and out of our own pockets.
I mean, we are spending money rapidly to give you these opinions on Eat, Talk, Repeat.
And if you don't believe that, wait till I go through my 14 restaurants I did for all of you folks in the last 2 weeks. 14.
Well, I'm excited. We were actually not scheduled to even record this week, but I made Sammy, producer Sammy, I asked her, I begged her, I said, please, we gotta cut John off and get some of these out because it's piling up.
No kidding. I went to another one last night. And so where did I go last night? Oh my God, it seems. Oh yeah. Okay. Yes.
Okay, well, introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm John Curtis, Curtas. I have a new moniker.
Yeah?
A new appellation. How about this one? The sometimes profligate and oft-times impecunious peregrinating epicure.
Whew, that's a mouthful.
Stick that in your Caesar salad bowl, man.
Where can people find you and your moniker?
Your peregrinating epicure can be found at eatinglv.com, where I have my giant, long Chinatown article finally posted a week or two ago, which we will talk about in an upcoming show. And so I do a complete, basically boots on the ground walk through Chinatown. That's at eatinglv.com. I'm on Twitter at Eating Las Vegas. And I'm on Instagram at John Curtis, my name, JohnCurtas. I put the ass in Curtas.
And I'm Ash Watkins, the Hamburguesa Principesa, and you can find me at Ash the Attorney on all platforms. And there you will find me just kind of poking John for all of his bad opinions and bad takes.
Come on, we agree at least 80% of the time.
Yeah, no, we do. But that 20% is
that's the fun part. Let me do a shout out before we get any further into this. Shout out to Teresa Leeds.
Okay.
You don't know this person.
I do not.
And neither do I. But the food gal was literally walking somewhere in a shopping center the other day, I think out in the mall at the south end where Tamba is. I think that's where she was. She says this lady walks up to her, Teresa Leeds, as a matter of fact, and she goes, I know you. And she goes, Alexander, she says, get her eyes wide. She goes, you're the food gal, right? She goes, I've been following John Curtis since he was at KNPR 30 years ago, and I listen to the podcast, Eat, Talk, Repeat all the time. And so she's a big fan, going back decades. So shout out to Teresa Leeds.
Shout out Teresa Leeds. Thanks for following us.
All this time. Yeah. So we know we have at least one listener.
We got one.
We got one. That's something to build on.
Yep. And we, being Eat, Talk, Repeat, you can find us at Eat, Talk, Repeat on all platforms. You can email the show, cheers@eattalkrepeat.com. Our website is live and active. It's where we're keeping track of John's running list of restaurants of 2026. So go to eattalkrepeat.com. You can also check out our past episodes, upcoming events, things like that. Submit your own pet peeves, which we feature in our weekly newsletter. That is getting a following, actually. I was talking with producer Sammy about the numbers. We're going up on our, it's called the Amuse-Bouche.
I love it.
It gets dropped every Wednesday. It's really fun.
People love to complain. And
oh my gosh, people love it.
We're here for you folks, the platform for you.
We are. We will post the best pet peeves, fan pet peeves. We do a Where in the World or John or I
Or
throughout
somebody.
the week. And it's really cool. And we're working on merch. I think we nailed it down. We're going to be doing those reusable tote bags that I love.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to have the show logo, and I think we're going to put some fun quotes on it.
Okay.
Show quotes, like you've been nano-influenced by John Curtis.
But no, by the impecunious, yet profligate, peregrinating epicure.
I don't think I pay for that spell check version yet, so or the thesaurus there.
Yeah.
So we'll get there, but like, follow, subscribe, leave comments, email us. We will happily respond. We love what we do. It's why we do it for free. And John, I'm going to let you go through the list of your restaurants that you will be talking about after the break, because there's a lot of them.
Yeah, this is just a tease what's coming up. Yeah, because I've been doing this for 2 weeks without coming back on and talking to all of you. So kind of in reverse order. Well, no, we'll go through it going back 2 weeks. Went to Gino's at the Summit, which is probably the most exclusive restaurant in Las Vegas.
Why I haven't been there? I don't even know about it.
Yeah, well, of course, because you have to know someone who knows someone to even go there.
Just a peasant over here.
Good day. Good day, peasant. Okay, I'm not going to talk about Cipriani. I've had lunch there 3 times in the last 2 weeks. The Cheese Store Beverly Hills, that was a hoot. That pop-up was a hoot. Le Café Central, which as reported on our Eat, Talk, Repeat website, it's apparently for sale, not 6 months after it opened. Oof. Yeah, which we'll talk about later. Boom Bang, I ventured into the wilds of Hendertucky.
And which we talked about, they are coming downtown.
In fact, I was at the lunch with people from Las Vegas City Attorney's Office yesterday, and they said they had a few setbacks, but they're getting ready to open for lunch and dinner downtown in the new City Hall Plaza. Tanuki Sushi, that's an interesting little sushi spot in Boca Park that the food gal and I just bopped into one day because we were hungry. Pleasant surprise. We'll tell you more about it. SK Seafood, one of the most popular Cantonese seafood places on Spring Mountain Road. Big spread there, Chinese spread. We'll tell you all about it. Raku blew our socks off again, for about the umpteenth time. Amador saw, Chef Oscar again, just firing on all cylinders. Esther's Kitchen for lunch. We will put up a picture of me actually eating chicken parm.
Oh, my
Vital
gosh.
Vegas.
Watch out.
You can now blackmail me with this. All right. Echo Taste and Sound for your beloved pancakes. Yui Ito My Sushi. Have a lot to report on my sushi meal there. Jipata, just for a quick bite. And Public Us for the food gal's favorite avocado toast. So we'll be talking more about all of those coming up.
And then I was in Miami for a week in Naples, but came back, hit up Brasserie by EDO, La Tai 2, In Limbo Burgers, the pop-up here at Petit Bohème again.
Oh, yes, I haven't been to that. No.
Soul Belly Barbecue on St. Patrick's Day, 1228 Main. And then I'll talk about the little bit of spots I went to when I was in Miami also. So let's get into our food news that you can use. John just mentioned it, and I think dropped it on a website, Le Café Central. They're on Spring Mountain Road under that, what is it, Lotus Apartments? Or
Right there with Kame Sushi is right there. The taco stand is there as well. It's right on the corner. It hasn't even been opened a year.
No.
And they're already for sale. How did we find this out?
It's listed on the real estate website, Crexy.com, retail. It's a listing that Le Café Central in Chinatown offers a chic, modern setting inside the iconic Lotus Building, home to 200 blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So it is for lease.
Yeah, okay, well, that's interesting because I don't think they've gotten the traction they thought they would there. Maybe the competition is just too stiff. Okay, Noma, talk about Noma.
I also just don't think they have a brand, and I think for French for French bakery cafe in Chinatown, you need that Paris baguette type brand.
Oh yeah, Asia Town, as we like to call it now, is nothing if not appealing to people who are, shall I say it, label whores.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's becoming increasingly difficult for the mom and pops and the individually owned places to compete against these giant, chains or franchises or known entities coming here from Southern California or South Korea or wherever. And so that could be an uphill climb. Hard to speculate. I mean, I like the food there. It's better than Paris baguette, but we'll see what happens there.
I suspected that they were struggling because remember they tried the dinner and then we went to go to dinner once and it was closed.
They announced it like on 1 week. We went like 5 days later and they weren't doing it.
Yeah.
And it was just like, okay, I didn't know what was up there.
All over social media.
Oh my God.
Last week was the controversy surrounding the chef of Noma, Rene Redzepi. A bunch of accusations were being thrown around online, social media, about past physical and verbal abuse that he levied against his employees and his stages, which are like the free labor that comes to work and train under.
Which he used dozens of to make that restaurant work. Yeah.
And so after all of the backlash, there was protests outside of the LA pop-up, where people were spending, what was it, like $1,200?
$1,500 a person
for
tweezer food.
Just
chew on that for a minute, won't you?
So
talk about label horse.
I know. And I mean, and the running joke was, this is a conflict of interest for the Hollywood elite. Suddenly it's like, what are they going to do?
Right.
They want to brag and say they went to the expensive Noma pop-up.
Yeah,
but now, but now
you're supporting basically a felon.
Yeah. So all of that came out and he resigned, I think, right before the night one of the pop-up.
What was interesting to me about that, and I kind of wish we had our buddy Sam here for this because I like his perspective on this as well as yours, and Rocky's too. But I think it was interesting. I mean, I had one of my more clever tweets. When I said, the people, his motto was like, Rene Redzepi was the beatings will continue until morale improves, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, that was kind of, I think, his business model. But it was interesting how the split of opinion in that you have this outrage, again, fueled by, let's face it, I don't want to get too political here, but fueled by the back east media, the New York Times, that basically had the big expose about this and fueled this and pounded it nonstop until it became a badge of virtue signaling honor to be appalled and abhorred by everything that this guy did in beating people up and pushing people and making chefs stand outside in a semicircle while you humiliated them like it was you're in a Marine basic training, a drill sergeant. I mean, that's just ridiculous, of course, and uncalled for. So you have the big split is the people that go, this is terrible and we cannot stand for this. And then the other half is like, big deal, man. What do you expect? We're all chefs. We're tough guys. We're pirates. We should put up with that. So what are you, a bunch of pussies? So it's like you and some in the food world consider it a badge of honor to have lived through that. But the public at large, I mean, I think the public opinion, if you did a poll, it would be 70% against it, right? But the 30% in favor of it usually are people, restaurant pros, that either didn't exactly excuse it, but said maybe you're just being a little too hypersensitive to the new generations are too sensitive to being, picked on and put down and criticized as part of their training.
Yeah, I think it's a unique thing. Obviously, physical abuse is just unacceptable. Like, one of the accusations was poking with a barbecue fork or something. Like,
right. Or punching in the stomach.
Yeah.
I mean, they had more than one person said he actually literally punched them. Okay.
Yes.
And
I think one was a female.
Yeah. I mean, you're punching people? I mean,
yeah. So the physical abuse, I agree. That's just crosses a line.
Yeah.
But look, I mean, I grew up playing sports, and then you go into the practice of law. These are very high pressure situations. Yeah. And my high school coach, he just, there was a big ceremony for him a few months ago where I went back, and we were joking about how he can't coach students and student athletes the way he did when we were playing.
Which was just 20 years ago?
Yeah. Yeah. And the things he would say to us were a little crazy. Yeah. There might have been recommendations to go eat rat poison at one point.
Right, yeah.
But if you said it today, he'd be canceled. Yeah. And so I think there is an evolution where past behavior doesn't fit through the lens of today. And my concern was if Rene Redzepi had come out and really like had recognized and apologized and gone through and realized all of the things he did 10 years ago were wrong and he had done things to rectify it, to make things right, and it changed, why are we now suddenly just like up in arms for stuff that's so far removed?
Right. Well, that was... sorry, that was also part of the Me Too stuff. I mean, again, I don't want to get too political, but it's one thing when people say, hey, this guy punched me in the stomach last week or last month. It's another to have this big expose about things that happened 10 years earlier. And I mean, it's like, how appalled are we supposed to be? And what's the real point here? I mean, are we, if this is a well-known fact, why are we so outraged about it now? I mean, I think it's, like you say, it's uncalled for. And when I heard about the physical assaults, I went, okay, that's just too far. I mean, now it's indefensible. Okay. Yep. It's one thing for a coach, like I did just enough sports to be humiliated at them a few times, but a coach to accuse me of having a vagina and things like that, you know. I mean, so I put up with that.
Might have been the ascot that you were trying to wear on the baseball field.
You think that was it?
That might have been it, John.
When I said, don't ruin my manicures. I paid a lot of money for this. So anyway, so Redzepi, I don't know. And who knows how the pop-up went down. I think he just resigned so to save all the money. I heard some figure that their pop-up for 2 weeks was going to take in $60 million at $3,000 a head, a couple, over 2 seatings a night for 2 weeks. It was $60 million. I think it might have been $30 million, $34 million. Yikes. Was going to be the gross take from this thing, which they anticipated because that's the starting point. And the people that are paying for that are going to be throwing down for $1,000 worth of wine.
Yes.
So, yeah, you're talking big tickets here. And I think the cynics out there, which I include myself one, said he resigned just to save the money so they could keep it going with a clear conscience and not have to refund everybody's cash that wanted it.
Well, then in that case, smart business decision.
So who knows?
And on this note, there are so many great chefs, not only in Vegas, but around the country and the world, that do leadership right. And rather than bashing all the ones that make missteps or do it wrong, boost the ones and reward the ones that do it right.
Well, some of my favorite tweets from this whole episode with Redzepi was in some chefs and foodies down in L.A. were kind of like pointing out the absurdity of people spending this kind of money for a pop-up just because they were rich enough and lustful enough for this for this putting this notch on their belt, when there are all these really great restaurants down there run by great chefs who are locally owned, putting out great food all over Southern California, and we're supposed to lose our shit over this guy coming here, to charge through the nose prices to a bunch of elites.
Great point. Take your $2,000 a head and go visit 12 restaurants.
Or go to Providence. You want a great meal? Providence in West Hollywood.
Yeah.
One of the best meals I've ever had in America, and it's still Michael Chiramusti. I never get his name right. Chiramusti. I apologize, Barbara Fairchild. I always. I'll call him Chef Michael. Okay,
there you go.
Providence, I've been there twice. It's one of the great restaurants in America. And after the break, I will get the pronunciation correct.
There you go. Okay, moving on from Noma. Here in town, locally, Baja Mar, the famous California fish taco spot, which we love on Las Vegas Boulevard, which you basically have to ring a doorbell for them to let you in because it's in such a sketchy area. And then they opened one in Henderson. They're now opening one. There's one under construction on Main Street here in the Arts District, which I think is a couple months out. And they just announced another one is going on South Rainbow. So the four corners of the valley will get...
Baja Mar is becoming the China Mama of taco places.
Seriously.
Oh, I left out one when I left my list, Old Manny's. That was the place I was at yesterday, Old Manny's.
Okay.
And I'll talk about that too, just for a second. All right, Baja Mar, happy to see it. Can there be such a thing as too many tacos?
No.
Okay.
You sounded skeptical.
I love tacos, but tacos are one of those things that people, because they're cheap, everybody can pretend to have this great foodie cred because they know what a great taco is, but it's just a fucking taco. Okay. Sorry, Mom.
It's just a fucking taco.
Yeah.
Write it.
Yeah.
Mr. Barbecue or Mr. BBQ on Spring Mountain Road in Chinatown is set to close March 29th as its last day of service. It was one of those premium all-you-could-eat Korean barbecue spots. I actually secretly loved this place with Mr. Hollywood. They would give you full-blown ribeyes and filet mignons, like full thickness. It wasn't all just the shaved meat. But
That was originally another place whose name escapes me this second before it became Mr. Barbecue. And it was out of Korea. And it opened the same time Hoback down the street did, and I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, so now they're going to close.
they're closing. But
Well, you see, again, which we'll talk about, which I talk about at eatinglv.com, there's been this inundation of all-you-can-eat barbecue and pho joints and sushi and cheap-ass sushi places that it's time to call the herd here in Chinatown.
yeah. But I liked that one. I thought it was clean. It was bright. You didn't leave really smelling like a barbecue joint. So, R.I.P. to them. Sartiano's at the Wynn has opened with kind of little fanfare. It really hasn't been a big scene.
They also opened that club
Zero Bond.
Yeah, which is such a douchebaggy thing. But I'll forgive the douchebagginess if Michael Rubenstein's food is great at Sartiano's. And remember, we met him at Vetri.
Yep.
And he's a good chef. He's got a good pedigree. I'm sure it's going to be a very, very good steakhouse.
So, yes, I'm excited to go there. Cantina Contramar
Finally.
at the Fountain Blue has announced the official opening date is March 28th. I'm sure it's probably opening before then. For the likes of you, John.
Of course.
I will have to wait until the 28th. But I'm excited for that. There were numerous occasions where I was concerned that it was not ever going to open or come to the Fountain Blue, despite everyone saying, no, it is. We're just pushing it off.
I hate to say this. This is reminding me of something. They're opening on March 20th. I think a friend of ours, a friend of the show, has made a reservation for us. I think I just, when you said that, I realized, oh no, I'm supposed to go there. Oh no, I'm booked on a certain date, I think in early April. Oh no, I think I'm triple booked for dinner that night.
John's problems, right there. Triple booked.
Yeah. World's smallest violin is playing for me. Yes.
Well, I'm excited for it. Well, I'm excited to see you marching through the halls of the Fountain Blue, bitching about their wine lists again.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've been to Contramar a couple times in Mexico City. Loved it. And I think if it's even half as good here as it is in Mexico City, it's gonna be a killer. It'll be wonderful.
Okay. Last but not least, John, the Masters dinner menu, the annual tradition is revealed. Oh, you're yawning. Yeah. Are you yawning for the concept of it or just this one?
Well, your tweet was spot on. A great tweet. The wine is the star of this thing. Somebody in the Rory McIlroy universe knows his grape juice. Okay.
It's apparently him. So for anyone who doesn't know, the Masters golf tournament happens every year, middle of April, at Augusta National Golf Club, one of the most, if not the most exclusive golf club in the nation, maybe the world. And
Cypress Point and Pine Valley might be right up there.
Right there?
Yeah. But yeah, Augusta National is 1, 2, 3 with them.
And it is like the holy grail of invitations to go. And when you win, you get a green jacket. And then one of the cool traditions they do is the next year, to open up the tournament, you put on a dinner for all the past champions. And as the last year's reigning champion, you get to pick the menu. So they always release the menu. They released it this year for Rory McIlroy. And my tweet was basically, the star of the menu are the wines that are being poured. Right. And the rest of the food items are all just try-hard dishes. Yeah,
you perfectly said. Here was my tweet to your tweet.
Okay.
I said, such a middle tease menu. Okay, there you go.
Perfect.
Okay, about as au courant as a wound balata. Insider golf reference right there. Okay. Typical of what passes for gourmet these days at elitist country clubs, which always have awful food.
Yes,
most of them do. Although I will later in the show I'll talk about the exception to that. What Rory McIlroy ought to have done is lean into rafts of fish and chips, because he's Irish.
Yeah.
And flagons of Middleton Very Rare Irish whiskey, which is a beautiful Irish whiskey.
I really think you should have done that too.
Yeah, and maybe like rashers of bacon, you know what I mean? Cabbage. I mean, come on, Rory, you're letting your countrymen down here.
100%. He tried to justify, I was reading through it, and he tried to justify each dish, but it's bullshit.
It is. Bacon wrap dates.
Yawn.
Yeah, really. The
Rock shrimp tempura.
Yeah.
Go to P.F. Chang's.
Yeah, with creamy spicy sauce. It says creamy spicy sauce. I mean, I got to see what these white bread, elitist, Republican, conservative, 2x4s up their ass people do with creamy spicy sauce. But, then again, we don't pay Rory to eat or drink. We pay him to play golf. Okay.
I know.
And actually, this reminded me, one of the great menus of all time at the Augusta National Club was a few years back when John Rahm won the thing. Guess who did the menu for him?
Jose Andres.
Exactly.
Yes.
And Jose and I met after that, and he told me, he said, "You've never met a bigger group of uptight people. So many rules everywhere you can go, where you can't go, what you can say, who you can talk to."
Yeah.
He said he was just rolling. He didn't tell me half of it because he said I'm not supposed to talk about
NDAs.
it.
I'm sure.
NDAs. But he was just rolling his eyes, and he said it's a wonder we got anything cooked. Okay, because they were doing, I think, paella, and because Jose Andres, jamon iberico, and all that. So that would have been a menu to try.
Yeah, that would have. I mean, this one, yellowfin tuna carpaccio with foie gras, toasted baguette, and chives. And he said he got this dish from La Bernardin in New York.
Yeah. Okay.
And Wagyu filet or seared salmon.
I mean, come on.
And then sticky toffee pudding.
Well, that's at least a nod to his English roots, okay? To his
he's Irish.
Irish, English, yeah.
Okay.
The British Isles.
I'm going to let you announce the wines. These are the stars.
Okay, if I can read them.
Oh.
Salon Brut, which is one of the greatest champagnes, if not the most expensive champagne in the world. I think he goes into one of my favorite wines of all time, a Puy Montrachet from a Batard Montrachet from Domaine Laflave. Hard to beat that wine ever. Then he goes right into a Lafite Rothschild 1990, which has got to be the superstar. And then, of course, Chateau de Chem. So this is classic French wines, top to bottom, kind of the ne plus ultra of French wine. So somebody was doing their homework with this one.
Allegedly, it was him. He's gotten into wine collecting and whatever. It kind of explains why nothing's that obscure.
Yeah.
They're all pretty.
Yeah, they're
all like $1,000 a bottle, $500 a bottle.
These are rich white guy wines, no doubt about it. Okay, but I mean, they are some of the best in the world.
And the Chateau de Chem is 1989, the year he was born. Well, there you go.
And that will be exquisite. So.
All right, let's take a quick break. Do you have any other news that you want to cover? No.
No, that'll do it. And I got to look up Michael Cimarusti's proper pronunciation in the commercial break.
All right,
yes.
We'll be right back. Hey, it's Ash at Eat Talk Repeat. We spend a lot of time calling out overpriced and overhyped nonsense in Vegas. So when a food event actually delivers, I have to tell you about it. On Sunday, April 26th, Vegas Unstripped is at the Palms Casino Resort, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. More than 30 of Vegas's best creative chefs, the off-strip ones who keep things interesting, will showcase unlimited bites of original dishes, plus cocktails, wine, and beer from top mixologists and sommeliers, all at one ticket price. We call Vegas Unstripped the one food event in Vegas you can't miss. And it backs that up with straightforward, local, chef-driven food. No strip drama, no 6-month waiting list, no mortgage, just wonderful eats and drinks in a fun setting. So tickets are at vegasunstrip.com. Use code EATTALKREPEAT at checkout for $10 off each ticket. If you're serious about Las Vegas food, this is the spot to be on Sunday, April 26th at the Palms Casino Resort. See you there. vegasunstrip.com.
All right.
Pop music. Pop music.
We really should be having an applause right now.
Why?
Soundtrack for you.
Why?
Because you got it right.
Cimarusti. Like Cipriani, Cimarusti. Michael Cimarusti, the chef owner of Providence, one of the greatest restaurants in America. Ate there with Barbara Fairchild about 5 years ago. And as I said, one of the best meals I've had in the world. I mean, it was a tasting menu, but he let us order all kinds of things off the menu, and just an incredible. It helps that when you're going to dine out in Los Angeles to be with the former editor of Bon Appetit magazine.
I would imagine that helps. I would just.
You tend to get better service than usual.
Like a lot of people accuse you of getting when you rave about places.
Well, I will defend myself later in the show.
All right, let's go through our reviews. I will go first because mine aren't as I don't have as many of them.
Mine are so numerous. I'm going to have to just do like a sentence or two on each one.
Brasseria by EDO, went back, lovely. Service is great. Really excited to see this place kind of get its footing in the town, in the neighborhood. The must-order dish there is their golden tartare. I think we've talked about it on the podcast several times.
A vegetarian tartare.
It's a vegetarian tartare. It's a nod to the green tartare they do at the other EDO locations or the Anima locations, but this one is yellow, golden, very good, must order.
With beets of all things.
Yeah, and like turmeric.
And it's just, it's a must order. But the Dover sole slays too.
Yes.
The
burger. There's so many items you can't go wrong.
Okay, let me ask you a question. So sending friends of mine there tomorrow night.
Okay.
And I help make the reservation for them. And they're, let's say, a rather affluent couple. I'm not going to tell you who they are. But, and they've traveled the world. They go all kinds of places. And the husband called me up. He said, "What's the hottest new restaurant?" And I said, "Brasseria." I think it's Brasseria, right? Brasseria. And he said, "Well, can we get a reservation?" And they'll accommodate them. Then I started second guessing myself, and thinking the food is great, the wine is good, it's a pretty room, but it might not be fancy enough for them. What do you think? Well-heeled couple, dines everywhere. Money was literally no object for these folks. I mean, not dining out money. They can afford it.
It's about as fancy as off-strip gets.
Good point. Yeah.
Other than a Harlow or a Tamba.
Yeah, which Tamba looks fan. The ambience is fancier than it really is, if that sounds weird, but it is. Tamba's a beautiful restaurant, but it kind of has a casual vibe to it. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. And he wanted to go off strip, so not.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm curious.
But you should ask them afterwards, follow up, and then we'll learn.
Yeah, they're good friends. So I will say, did you? And I've already given the heads up to Joe and Roberto and everybody that these guys are big hitters, and they'll probably throw down on wine, so they're all teed up.
But yeah, I love Brasseria by EDO. And the thing to remember is they're still very new, so they're still changing how they plate things, how they do things. So just go, enjoy it, and it's going to be one of those places that just keeps getting better. Also, they're doing early and late happy hour over there. They're doing a 4:30 to 6 p.m. and 9 to 11 p.m. happy hour, like a skirt steak and fries, $25.
Wow.
That's great.
At 9, I'm in my footy pajamas at 9.
Yeah. We can go at 4:30, John.
Okay.
You can get it then.
Right before my bedtime.
Yes. Burger and fries, $14. So yeah. Then I went to La Tai too. So good always. Waterfall beef, short rib fried rice, tricolor curry. Three-color curry.
That's what the food gal gets there too.
Yep.
She loves the green curry there too a lot.
So good. In Limbo Burgers, the pop-up they do Monday and Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. Really an incredible burger. It's a one-man show, so it can get busy, but go check it out. I think it's one of the top burgers in town. Soul Belly Barbecue, went there for St. Patrick's Day. I just love that place. It's really great. They did a corned beef brisket and made me want to go back because I was smelling all the lovely aromas from the smokers.
I really don't think I've ever had a bad bite at Soul Belly Barbecue. Everything I've ever had there is just spot on.
I think their sides are a little weak, but
I'm probably too full of pulled pork.
Yeah, but
by the time that
their
shows
belly of soul sandwich is.
Yeah,
I love it. So I love Soul Belly Barbecue when I'm too lazy to drive up to Wild Fig. 1228 Main, they now have a cinnamon roll. Get out of town. It's really good.
I don't need to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
my
then
waistline doesn't need to hear that.
And then when we were in Miami, went back to what is the best pizza that I've had in the U.S. and Mr. Hollywood.
Get out of town.
No, it's the best. If you're ever in Miami, I will pay you.
This is the hill you will die on.
This is the hill I will die on.
La Legenda?
Legenda.
Legenda.
La Legenda It is a hole-in-the-wall pizza joint right there in South Beach. They've been put on the top U.S. pizza lists like at 10, 12, all throughout over the years. But really, this is the best pizza I've had in the U.S. And we've gone to like number 9. I went to number 5 when I was up in NYC, and this one's better. So,
all right. You know, the last time I was in South Beach, it was tough to eat because I was so distracted by all the.
I really don't like Miami, but
Let
I
me
go
tell you.
occasionally. And
I mean, I've never seen so many men on roller skates and short shorts in my whole life.
when people just walk around in their bathing suits everywhere.
Yeah, and mesh T-shirts. A lot of men in mesh T-shirts.
Yeah.
I didn't. This admittedly 20 years ago, but
It's still that way.
Didn't want to make me clamor to go back to Miami Beach.
I don't blame you. It's humid and hot and kind of just not my vibe. But when I go, these
the
are the
pizza.
places.
All right.
But the pizza, Cubatone is this hole in the wall, best Cuban sandwich. It's not a tourist trap. Went to Mr. Chow. I hate how much I love this
Speaking
place.
of rich white people,
I know. I hate how much I love this place. And I'm bummed that Vegas, we lost ours. Went to Thomas Keller's Surf Club restaurant up at the Surf Club.
oh yeah, up in is it Boca,
It's no.
West Palm Beach?
It might be.
It's north.
It's
north.
north.
North Las Vegas. North
of South
Miami
Beach,
Beach.
but
yeah, North Miami Beach. Yeah.
I hated it.
Do tell. Spill the tea.
The service was awkward. It was just like there's 9 people, so they're all trying to do things. You've got all these people that are over perfumed showing up and sitting next to you because it's one of those restaurants that's a scene. And then
Now I've been known to douse myself in cologne, so okay,
you gotta
guilty
knock
as
it
charged.
off.
Okay,
And then had the worst bite of food all year.
no.
Until I got back to Vegas recently. It had 0 flavor. It was the prime beef short rib Wellington. I was so excited. Thought this is going to be yummy, delicious.
Thomas Keller, top of his game.
Yeah, and I was stunned. And I was just shocked. And obviously I wasn't paying, so I was being very gracious and just like,
How was it? Fine.
yeah, it was great. Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah.
But shockingly terrible.
Well, that doesn't surprise me because yes, Tom Keller's 18th restaurant might not be as
Yeah.
good as his first 3.
And then last but not least, I hate tourist destinations, and I sympathize.
And you went to Miami Beach.
I know, and I sympathize for people that come to Vegas and they just get absolutely hosed because all I wanted in the morning was a good coffee and a pastry, and I couldn't find it anywhere. It was all just lines out the door, and it was just shit. Some of the coffee places were using machines that are pre-made, and it was just trash. And I go, oh my! And then you'd go to a place that looks good. They actually have got the La Marzocco, and
Right.
they're doing the dance.
Right.
Trash.
Really?
Because they probably have never cleaned the machine since they opened.
Reminds me when I used to go to Washington, D.C. every year for 8 years, back when I was at the city. We stayed at the Omni Shoreham Hotel, a little bit north on North DuPont. And it used to be an elegant hotel. Now it's basically a convention hotel. And I would go down every morning to get coffee, and there would be a line. I mean, I'd get there at 7:10, and there would be 30 people standing in line to get coffee. So then I would walk blocks away from the hotel to try to find coffee. And every place I found, if it was mid, that was okay. Something was just kind of like, sometimes you could tell they spent all the money on architecture, but then the pastries were all pre-wrapped, and you could tell they just came off the back of a truck, and the coffee was just perfunctory. I mean, you could tell they looked like they were going to be a really high-end coffee shop, but it was just nothing but. And that was my experience in D.C. At least in that neighborhood.
So I think you find a convention center, you're sure to find a bunch of shitty stuff.
Coffee, yeah. And people just lining up, they're just all standing there going, I need my coffee. I don't give a crap what it tastes like. I just need a big cup.
Yeah, and all the Instagrammers just take photos and they look good. And you're just like, oh, it's so bad. So that was my downside of Miami. But overall, really great. And then last but not least, had the worst food I've ever had. And I normally try to avoid doing this, but do not ever order or go get food at the stadium on Main Street here in the Arts District. Next to Horse Trailer Hideout and next
yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
I was desperate. I hadn't eaten all day.
And the district is closed.
And the district is closed.
Yeah.
Soul Belly was closed because it was a Monday.
right.
And I was just like, okay, fine. I got my dog.
It's the Abel Baker place, right?
No, it's next to, short of Abel Baker. It's called the Stadium.
Okay.
And they're trying to be a sports bar,
Oh,
whatever.
right. Okay.
I've never been, it was just bad. So do not go there.
Doesn't it amaze you how the crap that people eat in the world and go, when you know, if you're in this biz like we are, or knee deep in it, or chest deep in it like we are, how much better stuff there is for all this mid and lower than mediocrity is out there that people just go, hey, I love the burger here. This is great. I go, there's a really great burger just a half a mile away from here.
Nevada Brew Works.
Yeah.
Go there.
Yeah.
And you will be stoked.
People don't know. And people don't care. That's half the problem.
That's the saddest part. But so if you like food, do not go to the Stadium. There was nothing there. I ordered
a slam by Ash the Attorney. Yes.
I ordered the chicken Caesar wrap, nachos. You can't fuck up nachos. They
Yes,
did.
you can. Yeah.
Yeah, the chips were stale. So then I just started plucking the chicken off of it.
Oh.
And then pretzel bites,
That's
like
Cardinals.
soft pretzel
Yeah,
bites,
yeah,
and they were chewy. And I was like, oh.
They just hire some low end
they're
person.
just open a bag, microwaving it all. So it was terrible. But please,
and charging for it, of course.
yeah. So John, now the floor is yours.
Okay,
I am gonna.
I really need a shot of something. I need a shot of good coffee to get through this. I'm not gonna dwell on too much stuff. Because.
Well, Gino's at the summit. No one can get there.
Yeah, I know, but I've got to brag.
Okay, go.
Come on, brag.
Yeah,
okay,
brag.
The summit is the top of it's the 1% of the 1% golf club in town. Okay, and Gino's is Gino Bernardo, who used to be at Nove at Top of the Palms, and he's one of my favorite chefs in town. And I'm privileged to know a couple of the members out at the summit. So I had a great 18 holes with them. And then Gino just put out this spread for us and basically cooked his entire menu for the four of us. And it was. I mean, it's something to be in this rarefied air. I mean, I ran into all these. I don't know if you saw Colin Morikawa. I got to meet him.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Maverick McNeely. There were Michelle Wee, the great female golfer, was out there that night. So you're just kind of hobnobbing with golf stars and the 1% of the 1%. And food's great. I mean, you can't eat it, but
you're not going to get there, people.
Tip of the stevedore to tip of the Stetson to Gino Bernardo. Then the cheese store at Beverly Hills. What a hoot that was!
Yeah,
you didn't go.
I was out of town.
You were out of town. It was just great. I mean, it was at the casino at Red Rock. I mean, it was just they took over like the kitchen next to the sports book that usually just does nachos and burgers and everything, and they had they had the entire cheese store there, and then they had like 4 chefs making some of the best sandwiches I've ever had. I mean, they're basically their bruschetta. They did a salumi sandwich, basically a hoagie, and. I can't remember another one. I think they did a turkey one. The sandwiches. I mean, everybody was. You could eat all the cheese you want and all the salumi. I mean, it was everywhere. Mm-hmm. But then you could just have a nonstop sandwich eating, and it was
so good.
And it was. We were lucky enough to go on the media night when it wasn't that crowded. The next night, you couldn't even get in. I told a bunch of people to go, and I had several people DM me, said, I went early, and there was 100 people in line. And they were,
cow.
I think they sold out. They sold everything out. So it was only open for like one day.
If you're ever in Beverly Hills, absolutely. It's
incredible.
It's so much fun, too. So go.
The cheese store, Beverly Hills. Then venture to the wilds of Hendertucky, also known as Henderson, to go to Boom Bang. And coming downtown, I'm going to. What is that old thing for the Disney movie? If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all.
Okay.
I wanted Boom Bang to be great.
Was that your first time going?
Second time.
Oh, okay.
Went there about 4 years ago. They do this kind of pizza bread, real thick pizza bread that you slice into like thick. Almost like it's like the size of a slice of cake, but it's kind of like a pesto pizza in the middle of it, and it's a great bread, and they give you that right off the bat. The thin cracker crust was fairly good. I ordered a Hemingway daiquiri was the worst cocktail I have had maybe in my life. I mean, Hemingway daiquiri is basically, it's the simple syrup, it's the lime juice. I think it's little maraschino cherry liqueur, and pretty hard to mess this up. And somehow I took a sip and went, "What in the world?" It tasted stale, sour, and weak all at the same time, and it was like an undrinkable cocktail. And I'm fond of saying, and I've said it on this pod 100 times, it's hard to find a bad cocktail in town anymore, right?
Oh my gosh.
I can throw a rock to 20 little places right where I'm sitting right now and have great drinks made by really great bartenders. And this was stunningly awful. Man! And then the chicken showed up, and it was just sad. And the burger was mid, but it was okay. And I just walked out of there going, man, this is what passes for decent food in Henderson. So that's all I'll say about that. Then the food gal and I were just hungry one day at noon, and we're out in Boca Park area, West Charleston area, and we're starving, and we were going to go to Target, for our
love a Target run.
Target run. Where else are you going to get all your toiletries and whatnot? And we looked in the corner. I said, "Look at this Tanuki place right there." It said Tanuki Sushi and Sake. And we walked in, wasn't expecting much, but very impressive. Little place, you could tell, run by a family.
Yeah.
An older guy, sushi guy, obviously Japanese, and his 2 younger kids were sort of serving you. Got the chirashi sushi bowl, the food guy got the tempura. Had the great miso soup. The sushi was great. I mean, it wasn't Yui quality, wasn't Kabuto quality slicing and all that. But I mean, it was for 2 of us. I think the lunch was like $55.
That's great,
and with really nice rice. And I mean, I went, man, what a little find right there, just shoved on one of the middle pads of the Boca Park.
There you go, people.
Tanuki Sushi. So
that's a hidden gem.
Open for lunch, And it was empty. We walked in. There was about 4 or 5 customers came in while we were sitting there. Then my Chinatown boys, we hit SK Seafood, and just ate everything on the menu. And it's one of my top places for if you're looking for Cantonese, the whole Cantonese seafood. We did the noodles, we did the chicken, we did the head-on shrimp. But are you head-on shrimp or not head-on shrimp? How do you like it? How do you take your shrimp?
I prefer not head on.
Yeah, but the authentic is head on. You eat the head.
I knew this
you
was
literally
coming.
just eat the head. You have to eat the head. Like the old China guys, and then spit out the tails if you have to. And I'm speaking like an old China guy.
Yeah,
okay?
It's just a lot. And I've had the shrimp heads.
Right.
I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, I get it. I get it, but you're supposed to suck out the.
Yeah. It's just,
Okay, so SK Seafood. Go for lunch at dinner. It's very, very popular on weekends at dinner. We were the only non-Asians in the joint.
Can you read the menu? Like if
it's Chinatown. God bless them. They've gotten very good at this. They usually have these laminated menus, and they have everything, and they'll have pictures of everything and great descriptions, and it's just really easy to navigate if you want to do it. We were going with our friend Dave Klarer, who basically orders everything in Mandarin.
Well, you're now flying without him.
Yeah. Now he left town. But we had just a great time. So highly recommend SK Seafood. Go for lunch. Service was good. Broken English service, but really nice ladies, really took good care of us. Then went back to Raku.
You love Raku.
A friend of the show, Pearl and Ray. And it was Ray's birthday. Oh. And the tale to tell is this. We sit down and we order, we let them, because I go to Raku about twice a year. They go about once a month, so they're there a lot, and they know everybody there. And I just defer to them. I've had the whole menu, and I wanted to be nice, so it was Ray's birthday. So I buy kind of an expensive bottle of sake, right? Just as I tell the guy going, I'm telling a tale on myself here, folks. And I tell the waiter, because we get there like a little bit early, about 5 minutes ahead of them. I said, "Here's my card. Just put it on my card. I don't want to pay for any. I don't want him to pay for the sake." It was like a $200 bottle of sake, right? Okay. So, and we polished that off right away, and so I go, and so they say, "Let's have another bottle of sake." And Ray says, "Yeah, I'm going to get my bottle of sake." And I go, "Great. So here's a bottle of sake, and it's even more expensive than mine." And we drink that, and then the owner, Endo-san, comes over and Ray and Pearl and I go, "What's your favorite sake?" So he brings over his favorite sake.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, which is
This
like
is a sake off.
which is like twice as expensive as our sakes. Okay, and then. So now we're getting bombed, or at least a couple of us are. He says, "I've got something special because it's Ray's birthday," and he brought out the top of the pops. I mean, just like.
Now, can you tell it tastes
Well,
like?
well, this is the funny part.
Okay.
Well, the punchline is, I ended up staggering out of there. I tried to tip everybody. I don't think I ever got charged for anything. I don't know who paid.
They're still looking for John. His face is actually plastered on.
I was giving out huge amounts of 20s to everybody as tips, or at least $3 each.
Some little kids in the restaurant were like, "This man
This guy's giving me $40. The funny part was, and it was ethereally good, but by the time we were drinking it, it was our 4th or 5th bottle of sake.
Yeah.
And we were already feeling no pain.
Yep.
And it was, you could taste the depth and the smoothness, and just, in wine, there's the finish thing where it kind of fills you up your olfactories and lingers for a long, long time.
Yep.
And kind of wraps itself around the inside of your mouth in a very pleasant way, not in an astringent, terrible way like the Hemingway daiquiri at Boom Bang. And it was extraordinary. I mean, when I saw the price, I was like, well, basically, it's the down payment on a car. Okay.
See, I just don't think I understand the nuance of sake enough to appreciate that kind of.
Yeah, me neither. But I made a joke at some point through my alcoholic haze that maybe we should have started with this one instead of ending with it.
Look at that brilliance right there.
Anyway, it was an off the charts sake experience at Raku. They have a wonderful list, and it's even better if you don't have to pay for it.
There you go. Pro tip.
But I love Indo-san, and I mean Raku is just a gem. I mean it is just a gem of Las Vegas, and it's very popular, and they're very successful. But I still don't think it gets the credit it deserves for kickstarting the really elevated dining experiences in Chinatown, which it kicked off in 2008.
I love the little sister restaurant Casa de Raku.
Well, we ended up there,
which is the tapas.
Yeah,
it's their Spanish tapas joint with Asian flair. I love that little place. It's expensive for what it is, but it's really a cool feel. You feel like you're in a little hole in the wall in Madrid.
In Madrid, you just walk down an alleyway and here's the place. Well, we ended up there. Because and I actually he brought out this basically charcuterie platter for us to kind of sober up, and I'm glad it was there. So that was my sake.
Tell me
adventure.
about your return to Amador. I want to hear about this. I'm jealous I missed out on this.
Well, then 2 nights later, I mean, I'm telling you, folks, these are the arrows I take for everyone. Okay, I crosses the bear. Okay, went to Amador with my my favorite cousin in town. Was it his birthday? No, not his birthday. We just all went because we hadn't seen each other for a while, and we were like, well, we just decided to order. But then Chef Oscar comes around and he wanted to taste, so he brought out probably about 2/3 of the menu. Let me turn my phone off.
Oh my gosh, amateur hour with your phone on. Oh my god.
But yes,
Chef Oscar Amador.
Amador Ito, and I walked in, and you forget how charming that room is, okay? There's things you forget. You walk in, that room just sort of envelops you in like a warm Spanish blanket of good feeling. I mean, it's just, I don't really know about feng shui, but I think if there's a restaurant in town that has it, it's Oscar's place.
Yeah. You feel good when you go inside.
Yeah, and so sat down. It's only 35 seats, I believe.
Wow.
I just remember going through the entire menu. He did some Spanish with aged fish, some sashimi that just knocked us out. He did that chicken pibil that he does, that roasted chicken, which my cousins just went crazy for. We did foie gras with sweetbreads. He did some sweetbreads. Ended up with a little beef. We were getting very full at the end, so he took pity on us and just had tiny bits of beef. I mean, but one of the things, he did a fresh pea thing, like umami peas. They were just fresh, small English peas with this, I think he called it umami, like a miso sauce. and it was one of the best things I've ever had. 100% vegetarian. It was, and I put a picture on Instagram. We'll stick a picture on the website. And we all just took a bite and went, I don't think peas could ever taste this good. Peas, me, oh yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love when chefs make vegetarian dishes that are just, they knock your socks off. Like this one you're describing and the beet tartare we were talking about, the golden tartare. Like but then you go to a vegetarian restaurant
and it's awful. Well, that was Tony Bourdain's big, he griped about that for years. He would talk about these vegetarian chefs have fear of food. I mean, good chefs know how to cook vegetables and season them and make them to where you just want to keep taking bite after bite after bite. And so Amador just, to me, sets a new standard for non-Asian places in Chinatown. I mean, there's great ones. I mean, there's Partage, there's Sparrow and Wolf, but there's just a handful of places that are not Asian, but it's a must-go-to place for anyone.
It really is. And for anyone listening that doesn't know, it's Chef Oscar Amador, who was behind the original Idio Tapas, which formerly was in the space Amador Cocina Fina is now. And so, and he's got James Beard,
and it's a lot like, he didn't change too much. The beautiful mural is still on the far wall. It's still just like 35, 36 seats, very cozy. I think he lightened it up. The lighting is a little brighter, and it's
blue-green, not orange-red.
Yeah, and
it's really
and you can order a la carte. Before, I think they were trying to wedge you into various tasting experiences. And it's just great. I mean, he does little beautiful little mushroom tacos. I mean, there's just a million things they do there. You're not going to get a bad bite of food there. And he's got a nice little wine list, and the service is great. So Amador gets the highest recommendation from Eat, Talk, Repeat. Esther's Kitchen, at the point of a gun. I had the chicken parm sando.
Actually, really good.
And it was good. Yes, it was good. It's really good. We'll post a picture of that. And the pizza's good.
Their pizza.
I like the pizza's good.
So they moved over there. They've got the actual wood-fired oven, like traditional Neapolitan style. They're doing the sourdough. It took a little bit for them to figure it out and get it all right, but now it's just...
I will tell you one thing, little put on my critic's hat. I do think sometimes their pizzas would benefit by subtraction, addition by subtraction. Sometimes
ingredients.
I think they just sometimes go one ingredient too far on some of their.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah. And you get them and you're going, well, this is great, but then they've got to put that extra, swish of that or dollop of that, and I'm going, it didn't need this, and now they're confusing my palate rather than pleasing my palate. Okay, so just a little critical point right there. 1228 Main. Where did we go? We did go there for breakfast. What did we get there? We had a great breakfast there. Well, the food gal's getting avocado toast all over town these
Basque
days.
Cheesecake.
Basque cheesecake, yes, and the avocado toast.
My hot take, I don't fucking like Basque cheesecake.
What are you, un-American or just un-Basque?
I'm un-Basque. I'm all New York cheesecake. Give me the real cheesecake.
Okay, well, I think sometimes they're as close as one as the two, but okay, we'll go with that. Echo Taste and Sound for the pancakes. Hot take coming in hot.
Yeah.
I actually liked the chicken BLT better than the pancakes.
So, fun fact, that was Mr. Hollywood's order, and she took the chicken club off the menu once and just had the BLT, and he was like, you need to put that back. It was too good. And she was like, okay. So she put it back.
I think she calls it the chicken club. It's either the chicken club or chicken BLT. That's what it is.
It's really good.
It's just a thin breast of chicken with a beautiful tomato and really good bacon.
Incredible bacon.
She uses great bacon. And I like the hotcakes a lot. But I was like, wow, this is a hell of a sandwich.
Yeah, it really is. And she does like this Texas-y toast bread.
Exactly.
So it is when you posted that, I go, yeah, I've been kind of hiding that tip. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just on the home stretch here, folks. Yui Itomai Sushi, hot news flash coming down now. They have simplified their menu, and to great effect. It's always they were for years they were doing sort of the omakase kind of kaiseki thing where when you one price and they gave you sashimi. They moved up the Japanese food chain, but they had noodle dishes and and then
Soup
dishes. They would soup dishes and maybe some seared foie gras and some seared wagyu. Blah blah. It's just a simple sushi menu. It's cheaper too. It's $95 or $120. So you got two choices, and you can add more to it if you want to. After you get done, if you want to add additional sushi or sashimi to it, and they also have fixed price sake pairing menus. They get up to like $150 and $170 a person. But the simple sushi is impeccable. It's pristine. It's exquisite. It's just some of the best sushi in town. I vastly preferred it to Kabuto, which I think tries to do what Yui used to do. But the last time I went to Kabuto...
Did you have the same people with you that you went to Kabuto with?
Yes.
And did they all agree with you?
Well, they agreed that this just simply sushi menu of just... That's Chef Kaz is the guy, cutting, serving, just like they do in Tokyo. Here's your piece. He puts it down. You eat it. Dun, dun, dun. You do that. Takes about an hour, maybe total.
That's nice.
Maybe a little hour and a half if you linger. It's really nice, and for the price, you can't get better fish. You're not necessarily filled up, because there's not much more than that. But it's the best fish in town, and I think it's the best sushi in town.
There you go.
So love Yui, my sushi, and they told me they like it because the customers like it. It's less work for the kitchen, because it's just sushi sashimi and the rice, of course, which is exquisite, and then and the kitchen likes it too. So then we got done there. And we were still a little hungry, so guess where we went?
Next door to Japata.
Literally, you can, 3 steps away?
If even, yeah.
Yeah. We walked in, saw Chef Bank, ran into Carrie. She's a friend of the
show,
pod.
yeah.
Carrie. And was there, and they started waving to us. And they said, "Eat, talk, repeat. Eat, talk, repeat." As soon as we walked in. So shout out to Carrie and her friends. And we just sat at the bar. Had a glass of wine. He brought out some nam khao Todd, that crispy rice and the Asan sausage. Incredible. My friend Greg got a dose of that. We talked to Bank for a while. And Japata is another great find. And
it really is.
It's tiny, and it's very, very intimate, and it's just what you want in a restaurant. And what amazes me is, like we talked earlier about how all this shit gets customers when little places like this that are doing such incredible food, sometimes go begging or are looking for an audience.
Yeah.
When everybody's going at equal or even more money at places that are just crap.
Yeah.
Okay. And because that's anyway. So Japata, I think, is still searching for its audience a little bit.
It's not. He's got the industry wine crowd, but
it comes late. Yeah, we were there early.
But that's the beauty of it. If you want to try some great the menu is simple, and it is some of the best food around.
Yeah,
town.
it's just like literally one page with like 15 things on it, and that's it.
And if you go early, it's not. It's basically a private dining room for yourself, and you'll enjoy it. Service is simple. My favorite thing on that menu when he has it is the Crying Tiger ribeye taco.
Right, he didn't have it that night. We were going to get it, and he didn't have it. So
it's so good.
Yeah. So and then Publicus, we went back to Publicus again. That's our Sunday stop. Love Publicus, and again, I like to make fun of Chemo, the owner. I say, you win the award if you spent a week driving all over town saying, what's the worst place to put a locally owned coffee shop, gourmet bakery restaurant? This place would be the number one worst place.
East Fremont.
Yeah. And he's packed now. He's always. Sundays are incredible. We get there right at 7 o'clock or 7:15. Great baked goods, toast, loaves of bread, croissants, scones, you name it. So love Public.
And you'll run into a lot of the industry people there, local industry people. I mean, I don't know how. Went there the last time, ran into a bunch of people around town that locals. So it's a great little.
Okay, last but not least, Old Manny's. Went back and with people from my old office. And, I like the tacos there, but I don't know if they're going to distinguish themselves enough to make a go of it. That's just a prediction.
Rude.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
My office loves it.
Okay, I'm not putting it down.
Who are they distinguishing? They don't need to distinguish.
Well, I just found that, the tacos were kind of,
Which ones did you get?
gubernador, governor, and the chopped up smoked tuna, smoked tuna, and our friends got other ones and everything, and everybody was like, "This is fine," and everything looked fine. I took a couple pictures, but I don't know when it comes to tacos. I don't know how a place hits and how it doesn't hit. Okay,
Yeah.
and I like that place. It's nice, friendly, clean. It took a while to get the tacos, but we were talking so much it didn't matter. But I want them to succeed. But I just didn't. I've not tasted enough of distinguishing things that makes me think that they're going to rise above the fray. Okay, we'll just see. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. Do you
So-
have a pet peeve that you want?
I got pet peeves out the wazoo. How long are we going right now?
We're long, so pick a short one.
Okay. My pet peeve is the foodie-verse. And I am maybe just because of who I am, I spend a lot of time on social media and because of that, the algorithms, I see a ton. The foodie-verse has just gotten so ridiculous. This is not peevish as much as it's a sense of resignation. I mean, it is such an avalanche, such a blizzard of information now that everyone's an expert, no one's an expert. You cannot look up anything. If you Google anything in a city, I'm going to Miami, Florida, go, I want to see some, the first 4 pages of Google search is all advertisements, okay? And when it's not just a blizzard of promotional ads and PR, what you get are all these idiot influencers. And the thing is, so it's basically like it's nothing but marketing now, because that's all influencers are. They're just marketing themselves. And, so you're getting hit with literally a hailstorm. How many more analogies metaphors can I use of information? But discerning what's good and what isn't is almost impossible. And the public at large doesn't really care. I mean, 90% of them don't care. They don't care that they're just being inundated with marketing messages. And half of the ones who don't care, they don't even know. And they don't care that they don't know. They look at some influencer and go, well, this guy told me that this guy, Brandon knows Vegas. He says these are the top 10 pizza places, and you can just tell that whoever blank knows, or Vegas foodie gal, or whoever the hell she is, half of the time it's promoted or she's just promoting herself. And the other half of the time, they're just an idiot. They don't know what they're talking about, but that's what you get. And people don't know or care. And well, I don't know whether it's a sense, more of a sense of resignation has just taken over with me, because I just get depressed when I try to go on the internet and find anything, because finding a quality opinion from somebody, unless it's an older person that's been around a long time, the new people. Now, I'm not trying to put you down, or it's just that for every one of you, there's 100 women, young people, I'm not just women or men, who are just don't know shit, but just are posting.
My God, have you been?
Yeah, exactly. Walk, don't run, to that kind of thing. And it's just like I don't know whether to feel sorry for everybody or just want to scream into the void, but that's what it is. And it's just some days I look at it and I go, she's an idiot. I don't give a shit. And half the other days I just go, oh my God, if I see this guy, some numbnuts telling me how good, this place is. And, when they go, the top Italian restaurant in town is Amari. Have you been to Amari, Chicago zone?
Bootleggers.
The bootlegger. And they're like, yeah, all right, fine. I just don't. So, pet peeve, done.
Yeah, I think the argument is, do you get mad at the influencers and the foodie side of it, or do you get mad at the consumer side of it? And I think for me, especially I talked about how I was loving to hate on the Facebook, Las Vegas foodie Facebook group. And it's
the biggest group of idiots in the world.
And the offensive part is it's a group of people that are calling themselves Las Vegas foodies, and all they do is every 3 days someone goes in, where's the best cheeseburger? Where's the best pizza? Where's the best taco? Where's the best steakhouse?
Right.
And it's just going, this is a group of people that actually does not care, doesn't want to do an ounce of scrolling or research on their own. They just want to be like force-fed it, and it's really offensive. So I get angry.
Spoon-fed it more than anything. Yeah, they just want to just swallow the pablum as it comes their way.
And so I think my anger gets directed towards the sheeple and the people that
Yeah.
are just going where Instagram tells them and their algorithm tells them, and they're not doing any discerning research or thought,
And they don't want to.
and they don't.
They're too lazy.
And that's the part that gets frustrating. Is you and I could sit here and tell you about a great restaurant like the Pepper Club, what Bruce Coleman was doing at the
Right.
Pepper Club, and yet it can't get traction because
Right.
for whatever reason.
Right.
And that's frustrating.
Yeah.
But then you got a bunch of people lined up outside for some boba joint.
Yeah,
Fucking hell, because they're cute colors.
Yeah, have you seen this cupcake? Oh my God, you've
Yeah.
got to have this cupcake. I mean, I love your dichotomy there between who's to blame, the sheeple or the influencers, and it really is the public who just wants to be spoon-fed stuff for free. They don't want to pay for anything,
Right.
And they're getting what they pay for. And they just where are the good pizza places downtown? Please let me now read 48 people telling me where the good pizza place. You don't really learn anything, and
It's so annoying.
Yeah, and then half of them are just my enmity could be directed at the Las Vegas Facebook foodie group, but I'm content just to snipe at them from afar sometimes and
It's
go,
fun.
You guys are just. I mean,
It's fun.
Are you just in it for the clickbait? I mean, they kind of like revel in their own ignorance. It's kind of amazing.
So bad.
Okay,
It's
so
bad.
So what's your pet peeve?
I'm just gonna piggyback off yours. I
Okay.
mean, we're running long.
Lazy as
and-
usual.
Yeah, I'm just coming back off vacation,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I am gonna float on your coattails.
Okay, well, we covered a lot of
we
territory.
did.
Bon
Have
appetit, mes amis.
Good night, Canada.
And good night, Canada.